June 1912. Villisca, Iowa. A quiet farming town, peaceful and ordinary. Dirt roads, horse-drawn wagons, and church bells ringing in the distance. Nothing about this place suggested horror. Nothing could have prepared the townspeople for the nightmare that was about to unfold. At the corner of 2nd and Pleasant Street stood a modest white wooden house, the home of the Moore family. Josiah and Sarah Moore lived there with their 4 children. They were known throughout the community as kind, well-respected, devoted to their church. To the outside world, they were the perfect family. But inside those walls, something unimaginable would happen. Photographs of the family still exist. Sepia-toned portraits, frozen smiles, innocent eyes. Looking at them now, those images feel haunting, as if the family somehow knew their fate. On the evening of June 9th, 1912, the Moores attended a children's church service. With them were 2 young guests, the Stillinger sisters, Lena and Ina. After the service ended, the family and the sisters returned home. At around 9:30, the lamps were extinguished. The children drifted into sleep, and at some point during that night, someone entered the house. Perhaps they were already inside, hiding in the shadows. Waiting. The following morning, unease began to spread through the neighborhood. Their neighbor, Mary Peckham, noticed something strange. The Moore house was unusually quiet. The children weren't outside playing. The chores were undone. The curtains were drawn. It was as if the house itself was holding its breath. When she could no longer ignore the silence, Mary called Josiah's brother, Ross Moore. With a spare key, he approached the house, unlocked the door, and stepped inside. The moment the door creaked open, a suffocating stillness poured out, and what he discovered would haunt him forever. Upstairs, Josiah and Sarah Moore were found in bed, their faces covered, their skulls brutally shattered by the blade of an axe. In other rooms lay the children, motionless beneath blankets. It was as though the killer had carefully tucked them in after ending their lives. In the guest bedroom, the Stillinger sisters lay in silence. The younger girl never stirred. But Lena showed signs of a struggle. Perhaps she had awoken. Perhaps she had seen the killer's face. But whatever she saw, she could never tell. Investigators scoured the house and uncovered chilling details. The murder weapon was found, the family's own axe, blood-stained and abandoned. But next to it lay something even stranger, slabs of raw bacon wrapped in a cloth. To this day, no one knows why they were left there. Was it a ritual, a twisted message, or something darker? Every mirror in the house had been covered, draped with cloth, as though the killer refused to see himself, or wanted to erase every reflection of the crime. The curtains were pulled tight, shutting out the world. It was not just murder. It was something far more deliberate, calculated, and sinister. By midday, the crime scene was overrun. Dozens of curious townspeople entered, trampling through evidence, whispering in horror. The town of Villisca would never be the same again. Theories began to spread. Some believed Josiah's former employer, Frank Jones, a wealthy businessman and bitter rival, was behind the crime. Others suspected Reverend George Kelly, a wandering preacher with disturbing obsessions and a history of unstable behavior. Another theory named Henry Lee Moore, a drifter linked to other axe murders across the country. Each man had motive. Each fit the pattern, but none could ever be proven guilty. Some began to wonder if the killer was not a man from Villisca at all, but a shadow passing through, a serial killer moving from town to town, leaving entire families slaughtered, then vanishing into the night. Over a century later, the Moore house still stands, preserved, untouched, but inside time feels frozen. Those who enter report whispers, footsteps echoing in empty hallways, and shadow figures slipping past in the dark. Paranormal investigators claim to hear voices of children, soft cries and chilling whispers picked up on recorders. Some say you can hear the faint sound of an axe striking wood in the dead of night. In 2014, during an overnight investigation, a visitor stabbed himself in the chest without explanation. He survived, but insisted he had not been in control of his own body. Something, he claimed, had forced him. The murders of June 10, 1912, remain unsolved. No one has ever been charged. No one has confessed. Was it an act of human evil? A calculated revenge? The work of a drifter passing through? Or was it something else? Something that never left the house? Stand in the Moore home today and you will feel it. The heaviness in the air, the silence that watches, the sense that the night of June 1912 never truly ended, and perhaps the killer never left.